lifting Vaughn up there on that stretcher. Hard to say which leg it is.
Langlois shoots it off the boards. Bob Vaughn lets it drive. Goes score! Bob Vaughn.
He gives it into Lemaire, back to LaFoot. The Montreal Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup.
He looked Nystrom. Canelli to Nystrom. He scores!
The Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
Time once again to go back into the archives. Welcome to Vintage Games here on the NHL Network. I'm Dan Pollard. Today we take a look back to April 27th of 1980 and the quarterfinal matchup between the Minnesota North Stars and the four-time defending champion Montreal Canadiens. Montreal finished 19 points ahead of the North Stars during the regular season. However, injuries and the stellar goaltending of Gilles Meloche had pushed the series to a seventh game at the Forum in Montreal.
Well, okay, the biggest hockey game of the 1979-80 season at the Montreal Forum is about to get underway. Enos Anderson on with sharply and McCarthy for Minnesota. Mondu at center along with Schutt and Napier for Montreal. And the North Stars cleared into Canadiens territory. It's whipped along the boards by Robinson. Down the ice it goes. Back forward goes Giles. Skating from the other side is Napier. McCarthy gets it on the left side. He is bumped by Schutt down. Gets back to Mondu. And Mondu is upended by Hartsburg. A rink-wide pass on the right side. Anderson snapped that shot into the corner. Robinson takes a look, and from the front of his net, he digs out over the line. Gives it to Napier, who cleared it into the far corner. Now the Canadiens are making changes while the play goes on. On the right side, here's McAdam, rubbed under the play by Gainey. It's into the center ice area. Maxwell has it over on the other side for Giles. He shoots it in, and Langway cleared it to the other side. Smith for Minnesota to McAdam. Jarvis getting it ahead. Knocked down is Chartrand. The check delivered by Captain Spear. They tussle in behind the net looking for the puck. It goes to Kristoff. He tries to center. Now the Canadiens are going to break out. They go to the center ice area. Gainey is over the line. Gives it to Jarvis to Gainey. Right in front. And a roll wide. They fight for it now, the boards. A solid body check by Maxwell on Jarvis. Smith lugging it into the center ice area with that head fake, goes to the right side. Over the line, fired it! And Heron kicked it out. Here's a body check by Langway on Zanussi. Canadiens with Gainey. Gainey starting out, gets it to the other side to Langway. There's a dearth of whistles as we start this hockey game. Now, Maxwell up on the right side to Zanussi. A good pass, it goes to Eves. Eves digging in on that right side. Here's Eves around the net, chasing it against Gingras. Gingras goes down. Lambert is knocked in on the boards by Zanussi. They might get a whistle here. For the Montreal Canadiens, Jarvis, Robinson, Gainey, and Langway. No score in the hockey game from the face-off. That one just whizzed by the corner. Now it's Young keeping it in. Young takes a look. Still at the line. Over on the other side, McCarthy right in front, and the shot is wide by Eves. At the line, it's cleared out over the line. It went off Young. Now back at the line is Maxwell. Over the other side to Young, back up on that left side to Maxwell. He cleared it in there. Bursting in is Eves, going in against Langway. Robinson tipped it to the line, not out. Maxwell over on the other side. Here's McCarthy, twisting and turning. McCarthy takes a look, out in front it comes, and it's knocked away by Heron. Pressure here by Minnesota. Along the boards, Robinson gets it, fails to clear it out, and it bounces by Maxwell. 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining in the penalty to Mondu. Robinson belted Kristoff. Now the Canadiens slice it off the boards. Jarvis shooting it down the ice, and Montreal making changes. Captain Savard is on. The Minnesotans starting out on the right side. McAdam dropped it back to Hartsburg, up on the left side to Payne. Payne over the line. There's the shot. It went off Engblom right into Harris.
Gary, the North Stars have not been in this kind of a situation before. Game 7, neither has Denny Aaron, but this young Minnesota team does not show any signs of being awed by the situation or nervous.
Well, this morning at practice, it's amazing how they keep their composure and they're cool. Here's the start of a power play, a shot which Aaron was able to hang on to. But, you know, perhaps they don't realize what they have a chance of doing. You know, they're still numb by the whole situation, but, you know, I'm sure they're not going to worry about mistakes. They're just going to go out there and skate as hard as they can, and it's amazing how hard work will overcome thinking about making mistakes.
Yeah, Lucky Jarvis set to take over at center. Savard has just come back off the bench, taking over on defense for Langway.
So 44 seconds the time remaining in the penalty. The North Stars, everybody up. Where is it, says McAdam. He couldn't come up with it. And Gainey slapping it into the center ice area. There's Payne coming back. Lambert is on the ice for Montreal. There's an offside over on the far side. It was number 15, Smith.
Well, there is Steve Payne, sophomore year, 42 goals. Big man in the early stages of this series. Of course, all the North Stars went into a bit of a dip when the games went back to Minnesota, games 3 and 4. And he's just a perfect example of the confidence that this hockey team has with the youngsters on it. 33 seconds left in Mondou's penalty.
It is Smith at center, McAdam on one wing, Payne on the other, Hartsburg and Giles are on the points. They have excellent shots from the point. Robinson lugging it, clears it on the left side, and it's knocked into Minnesota territory by Uhl. Forechecking is Savard. Savard is up front, along with Uhl. Robinson on defense with Langway. A splendid move there by Smith. Smith is in over the line. Here's Smith losing it. Langway going after it against McAdam. Now here's Hartsburg shooting it. The shot was low and missed the far side. The penalty has expired. Langway desperately trying to get it out. He gets it to Mondou. On this side to Savard. Savard going in after Hartsburg. Now Savard, stick is held by Hartsburg, and the Canadian supporters and the Canadiens bench react on that. Montreal with Gingras coming down on that left side. He gets by Hartsburg, he sent it right in front of Napier. A shot, and it hit Giles in front of the net. Now Gingras right over in front of Napier again. To the other side, and it's out over the line. Here's Robinson, laying it in off the stick of Shutt, who digs in there. To the other side, Payne looks at Napier. Now Shutt getting it back. The North Stars roll it down the ice. The shots on goal are even. Minnesota 3, Montreal 3. That time Anderson was taken out of the play. Robinson leading a 4-man Montreal attack. Works well into the center ice area. Flicked it off a stick. Stick was above the shoulder and made contact. They line up for the face-off at the Minnesota line, 13-17, the time remaining in the opening period. Sharpley, who is outstanding, number 7 in that 6th game in Minnesota. He is on with Anderson. The other forward is McCarthy. For Montreal, Langway, Lambert, Tremblay, and Uhl in there. The pass comes from the side of the net. On the boards, bumping. A sturdy gentleman by the name of Lambert. Sharpley is in there too. A lot of milling about. I doubt if we'll have penalties unless something further takes place.
Perfectly timed pass, Gary, right there to the front of the net for Reggie Uhl, and a perfectly timed bit of anticipation by Gilles Meloche, who hung on to the post short side, and Uhl couldn't jam it home.
Well, you talk about that all the time, Dick, and a lot of goals are scored that way, where the winger is able to lose his check and just head for the net, and all the winger is trying to do is slide it in front and go for that deflection. The Canadiens played that one really well. Meloche, though, he was equal to the task and was able to direct that into the corner. But both teams are really hitting again tonight as they carried over from the last game.
It is Sharpley against Lambert. Montreal defense playing up back to Ekblom. There's the shot. Off the leg. It rolls in there to Meloche. And he covers up. And so this well-played, exciting series dwindles down to that one precious game. And Gary Dornhofer, there's something about a 7th game. It has an appealing aspect. It's the degree of finality, I guess. It's like something death.
Well, there's no question about that. There you see the importance of draws, how it just dribbled to Meloche. But let's face it, the Canadiens are going to put some pressure on tonight. It's will the North Stars be able to keep their cool and their poise in their own zone and not run around? That's where that experience factor will come into play.
Now it's back to Engblom again. He sweeps it in behind the net. Giles runs into Napier, in to help out his shot. Shot gets a loose to Mondu, and he ripped it just wide. Oh, that was an outstanding scoring opportunity. Here's Eves trying to penetrate. He can't. Napier sidesteps it. Check beautifully. Napier is going in. He gets hit in front of his shot by Mondu. And again, he's wide. Back it goes to Engblom. A shot knocked down. And the Canadiens have had sparkling scoring opportunities in the last 30 seconds. 12 minutes and 15 seconds, the time left in the first period. There's no score. There's an offside. Defending for Minnesota, Young Hands, Polish, Giles, and Hartsburg. No score in the hockey game. Montreal moving back to get their power play into what they hope will be effective operation. They have to contend with some forechecking here. There's a left wing pass to shot. He cleared it to the corner. Napier speeds in there. Giles plays it into the boards. He is bumped. There's a mix-up. It comes back. Here's the Fort shooting it. And it's off a stick over the glass. Giles and Mondu had a bit of a shoving session.
Game 5 was played in this building last Tuesday night. Lapointe, I think, still had a cast on his ankle. He was hobbling around. He has had just a dreadful year in terms of injuries, illness, what have you. He has been almost a forgotten man in the Canadian scheme of things. Gary, not too long ago, he was the first all-star defenseman in this league.
Well, you know, as you get older, those injuries are a little harder to shake off, Dick. I know better than anyone.
A minute and 34 seconds left. There's a shot kicked out by Meloche. In behind the net, shot is going after it. Hartsburg shoves in. Here's Gingras. Gingras winds up, fakes the shot, and it's a big goal! Napier!
Well, you got to credit Steve Shutt with that one. I mean, he had Meloche right out of the net.
Gary, you pointed out that the Canadiens were getting a man open. Okay, they had the power play, but Napier was the man open there.
Well, watch Shutt now. You know, not only does he dig in the corners, but he causes the interference in front of the net. There's the open net. He had Meloche way out and open net goal.
Better look at it here. Watch Meloche and Shutt right there.
See, when you go in front of the net and the defenseman is bothering you, just let the defenseman push you right in the goalie. That's what Steve Shutt did, and they were rewarded with a goal.
So Montreal on the power play, leading 1-0. Here comes the North Stars. Is cleared back to center. Spears shooting it in. On the left side, Engblom. Ahead to Gainey at the line to Jarvis, over to Chartel, and he fired one wide. Gainey back into the center ice area. Here's the announcement on the goal. Napier.
Assisted by number 6,
Mondu. Gingras. On the right side, McAdamy steps over the line, leaves it for Maxwell. There's the shot. It was a floater. And Denny Heron holds on.
Another look at the goal, and I guess, Gary, from this angle, as we isolate on Meloche, another look at Shutt. Right
there it is. That's absolutely perfect.
And legal.
You know, Hartsburg was trying to hook him a little bit, so all you have to do is fall right into the goaltender.
I asked you, was it legal, Gary?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Langway checking along the boards.
Now it's Bagshaw shooting it off the stick of Heron. Canadians whip it down the ice. Down goes Giles. 9 minutes and 47 seconds, the time remaining in the opening period. 1-0 for Montreal. They keep it in Minnesota territory. Hartsburg recovers. Playing it ahead on the right side. Gingras shot off the stick into the slot. Back it comes. Trombley winds up for the shot. A low drive, not too much on it. Gingras shooting it. Canadiens. Penalty coming up against Rajan Oul. It'll be a hooking penalty, so a big opportunity now for Minnesota to get back on even terms.
10 minutes, 40 seconds gone. First period, the score, Montreal 1, Minnesota nothing.
Kristoff, Maxwell, and Young. That's the power play. Alignment for Minnesota. 1-0 for Montreal. The North Stars, 4 of them race into Canadiens territory, and behind the net they jam. The puck is loose. Robinson ties up his man. Sharpley is trying to get it. It goes to the other side. Maxwell in off the boards. Robinson bumping Kristoff. Kristoff carries on. Kristoff getting it back. Maxwell back in for Kristoff, who has been a series standout. Now there's right in front of the net. It comes. Big save by LaRocque on Sharpley. Here's Young over on the other side. Kristoff to Maxwell. Back it goes to Young. There's the shot. They tried to deflect it. Good possession here by Minnesota. They're keeping the pressure on the Canadiens. Langway is bodied under the play. Kristoff looking for it. Here's Young. Young is closing in. Shoots it. A leg save there by Harris. Now it's behind the net. Here's Sharpley. Sharpley rolling it right out in front. Here's Young winding up for the shot. Didn't get much on it. Into the corner, Sharpley. Excellent power play from the point of view of possession by Minnesota. Now the Canadiens. Long lead left wing pass. It would have been 2-on-1 had it worked. Now Minnesota coming back. 4 of them into the center ice area. Maxwell is over the line. Gives it to McAdam. And it's called on the offside.
Terrific power play by the North Stars. Excellent puck control, Gary.
Well, you notice, Dick, how the Canadiens keep trying to force the play. You know, they go right at the North Stars. They're not giving them a chance to set up a play. The North Stars did an excellent job there of moving that puck around, even though they were harassed. There's just a simple little wrist shot from the point. That's a great opportunity, just like the Canadiens scored a goal, is try to get somebody in front for the deflection.
31 seconds, the time remaining. The penalty to Houle. Canadiens will eat up about half the 15 seconds. Shooting that puck down the ice now. They'll have to scamper back quickly. Minnesota will in order to get another rush on the power play. Big Smith is in over the line. He gives it to McAdam. McAdam around the net. Lambert has it. Now it's back into the center ice area. Up it goes to the line. Hartsburg shooting it in. The point after the penalty now has expired. Houle is back on the ice and he clears it to center. Here's McAdam trying to barge through on the right side. Savard is out there and he cleared it coolly down the ice and then racing against Montreal.
Interesting to see Savard and Lapointe on defense together. It has been a long time, Danny Gallivan, since the last time those two veterans were out there at the same time on the Montreal defense. The North Stars reacted a little bit. Houle came out of the penalty box. They felt he might have been a little bit early, about a second showing on the clock when he hit the ice. Might not have been his fault, though, Gary. It's the people in the box who tell you, go. They're supposed to. Well, there you see the situation. 1-0, Montreal on the goal by Napier. 7:06 remaining, first period.
Well, you notice on that last power play, the North Stars had Tim Young playing on defense. And every time the Canadiens came out, they were trying to work against Tim Young, try to force him in there so they could go a 2-on-1 against him. Gainey almost broke away there.
So the face-off will be to the left of Heron. Linesman Stickle lining them up properly. Here's a shot from a sharp angle by Kristoff. He's ever dangerous. Now, out over the line, it goes to Captain Schmier at center. Barrett playing it back, intercepted by Schutt. Schutt going down with Mondeau. There's a shot off the leg. Schutt getting it again, winds up for shot. Backhand shot wide by Mondeau. Into the corner, Mondeau, Napier, Kristoff. And now it's Schmier. Lugging it to the left side, gets it into the center ice area. Robinson breaking it up. Coming back is Napier. Napier has scored the only goal in this hockey game. 6 minutes and 22 seconds, the time remaining. In the first period, here's Eves going in with Zanussi and Kristoff. Canadiens start back into the center ice area. Tremblay with Schutt and Lambert. Tremblay shooting at a rising shot. The angle was almost impossible. The resiliency on that shot brought it way down to the far end. Now the Canadiens are coming out with that head fake led by Engblom is in on the left side. Great move by Engblom. He's cutting in. Couldn't get a shot away. Engblom to Trombley in front of Cloud. Great jam move. And it's swept away by Hartsburg. To the far side, Trombley against McCarthy. McCarthy knocked in on the boards. Here's Giles headmanning the puck for Anderson. Penalty for interference. About to be assessed against Minnesota. So the face-off in the Minnesota zone. Montreal leading 1-0. They are on the power play, and it's wrapped off the boards by Maxwell. Down the ice it goes. There's the little pesky number 16 Polish going after it. They can take a moment. They score! Yes! And it's tied at 1. What a peculiar type of goal, but very alert work by Minnesota.
Well,
Can you believe it?
Let's look at both benches. You see the Canadiens bench, the players, they got their head down. The Minnesota, on the other hand, they were up whooping. And look at this giveaway here by Denny Herron. And in comes Young Hans, and he doesn't make any mistake. I don't think anybody would have made a mistake on that one.
Well, nobody feels worse than Denny Herron. He tried to clear it back of the net. It went off the heel of his stick and just hit the outside of the post to the front of the net. You know, Lapointe was kind of slow getting back. He's not in the best of shape. Maybe somebody else over there in that situation might have reached the puck before Herron. It's a tie hockey game. Short-handed goal for the North Stars.
Canadiens are still on the power play. They are broken up by Polish. Polish is cutting it over the line. Polish digging there with a great deal of determination. Young Hands 29 and Polish 16 are giving the Canadians fits on this power play so far. Now Napier headmans that puck, the shot going in with the point. It's in front of the net. Meloche is down and he covers up.
Oh, an unassisted goal by Young Hands at 14:43. The North Stars shorthanded at the time, and it's 1-1. Here's that last possible chance for the Canadiens. Lapointe cutting in front of the net. Deflection right to Meloche.
Again, the Canadiens, they're penetrating. They're going, getting that man to the front of the net. But, you know, what a lift there for the North Stars on that goal, Dick. They were down. They needed something. And I was just going to say, you know, the next goal is going to be such an important one. And on the North Stars' behalf, it certainly got them going in the right direction.
Here is Shingrau clearing it in. It's held by Meloche for the penalty time on McCarthy, 1 minute and 3 seconds.
On the other hand, Gary, a team that is scored upon in that fashion, they can't lose their cool. They've just got to say, well, these things happen, and, you know, they can't get this organized. I thought they were for a minute after the ensuing faceoff.
From the face-off, Trombley gets it back to Shingrau. He fakes the shot to Trombley over the other side. Here's Langway shooting it. Anderson got in front of it and rolled it down the ice. Back there is Shingrau. He's turning with Oul, Langway, Lambert, and Trombley. It goes to Oul, to Lambert into the center ice area with Trombley on the right side. Back to Trombley over the other side into the slot. Young is there having difficulty against Oul. Oul gets it, gives it to Trombley. Trombley to Langway. Langway shooting it. He's wide. Here's Shingrau winding up. Canadians keep it in. Trombley in the corner behind the net. Lambert missed it. Now on the right side. Young Hands puts it out. There's the shot almost deflected into the net by Trombley. Pressure here by Montreal. 8 seconds left in the penalty out to Langway over his stick. Langway upended his man. Now it's in front of the net. Trombley shooting it. It's blocked. Down on the ice is Giles. Trombley is upended by Young Hands. Let's see. We're going to have maybe our first fisting outbreak of the series. Let's hope not. We want to keep that record perfect.
Rod Langway's shot hit Kent Eric Anderson here a little while ago, and he is in a lot of pain and physical difficulty in back of the North Stars bench right now.
Well, there's the good block shot by Giles, just slid in front of it. Trombley, he was pursuing trying to jab the puck through his legs, and in comes Young Hams, just knocks him over. That's good teamwork. But it's quickly settled and back to the order restored. But
penalties on the play. Trombley and Young Hands both going off at 16:27. That was Young Hands' first playoff goal, and now Each team has a shorthanded goal in the series. Doug Jarvis with one in Game 5 for Montreal. Young Hands with the very unusual tally, but very important tally for the North Stars here in this first period.
Here's the announcement of the penalties to Trombley and Young Hands. Canadians again, they're playing up. McAdam goes over to his natural left wing to the Canadiens line. McAdam, who is a left winger, playing regularly on the right side. Maxwell back at the line, chased by Jarvis. Maxwell around the net, gets away from Gainey. Now Jarvis is on it and plays it back to the line to Engblom. 3 minutes and 10 seconds, the time remaining in this, the opening period. Jarvis swings it ahead. Gainey couldn't get it. They try to sandwich Gainey. Now Barrett on the left side. Ahead to Smith. Here's Smith making an excellent move to get away from Napier. Smith is over the line. Maybe a drop pass. No. In he goes, picked up by McAdam. McAdam, he's tough in behind the net. McAdam is getting it back. Here's Maxwell closing in with a shot. And he only missed by an inch or so on the far side. Now Canadians playing it back in their own zone. A Robinsonian-led march. There it is. And a booming blast. Rebound. And shot was checked. Puck goes back down the ice. It will be icing. Robinson is on the left side. Engblom gets it. Engblom takes a look, rolled it in front. Deflected wide by Gainey. Maxwell playing it. Engblom will keep it in. Here is Spear ahead to Eaves. The penalties have expired. Trombley and Young Hands are back in circulation. There's Zanussi going in, and Gainey swept it to center. Maxwell laying it on the right side to Zanussi. Bounces a shot in there. There's Kristoff. Kristoff along the boards. It's left there. Here's Zanussi getting it back to Maxwell. Into the corner. Kristoff is knocked to the ice by Engblom. Eaves getting it back to Zanussi. Takes the shot. Here's Maxwell closing in. There's another shot from the short side by Zanussi. And it's grabbed by Harris. North Stars offense, Gary, going in fits and starts a bit, but once they get control of that puck in the Montreal zone, they've done a pretty good job.
I like the play here just prior to that where Gainey went for the fake and was down, but they're finding the open man when they get the time. You know, the Canadians are effective when they really get after them and don't give them a chance to set up that plays. You look at their players, that everybody on the North Star seems to handle that puck so well, and if they have the time, they can make it very difficult. Aaron was able to cover up that shot on the short side and cause the face-off.
56 seconds, the time remaining in this opening period. Smith, McAdam, and Payne with Hartsburg and Giles playing up. Robinson into the corner. Robinson left it there for Savard. He feeds it ahead to Gainey. Coming down with Chartrand. Gainey speeding in on that left side. Dropped it back. It's swept in by Savard. Smith is bodied by Jarvis. Here's Chartrand. Hartsburg getting it ahead to McAdam. McAdam working in against Robinson. That's a very tough pass. And Robinson stopped him. Giles. Over to Hartsburg, to Giles again, up on the wing. McAdam gets it back. Giles, a pass to center. Canadians, Robinson taking it over and shooting it on the left side. A dozen seconds left in this, the opening period. Here's McAdam shooting it in there wide. Savard skates in behind the net. This period is going to end apparently in a tie score, 1-1. And we're live from Montreal, and there's a fellow who's been very much alive in this series, Jarvis. So he's at center against Smith. Smith is on with McAdam and Payne for Minnesota. Jarvis, Chartrand, and Gainey. North Stars clearing it in. McAdam gets tangled up. And Gainey behind the net, Payne going the other way, and it's whipped up on the left wing boards by Robinson down the ice. And it could be icing here against the Montreal Canadiens. It's finally touched by Hartsburg.
Interesting start to the period. The North Stars threw the puck right into the Montreal zone and chased after it. Craig Hartsburg, one of the youngsters on defense for Minnesota, just 20 years of age. Junior in Sault Ste. Marie, has a year of pro experience under his belt with Birmingham of the World Hockey Association.
Well, you know, Glenn Sonmore, he made it very plain today. We're not going to sit back and wait for something to happen. We have to go right after them and establish our game plan and try to penetrate their zone and get some good scoring chances.
And they'll look for a scoring chance here with the face-off to the left of Heron. It will be McAdam against Jarvis. Let's see who gets the draw. It's into the corner. Gingras upended. The North Stars trying to center it. It's intercepted on the pass back. Chartres took the Gainey pass. Into the corner. Gainey going in for it. Fired it. He went for the far side. Didn't miss by much. Here's Jarvis trying to get in front. And he pushed it wide into the corner. Canadians coming close. Now Canadians are coming back in on that left side led by Gainey. Gainey takes a look over to Jarvis. There's the shot. Chartres right in front. And he got turned around at the lip of the crease. Now it's face-off to the right of Meloche. Back it goes. Gingras clearing it in there. They go to the other side. Robinson keeping it in. Here's Napier getting set. He fired and then it's blocked by Meloche. North Stars clearing it out and down the ice. Canadians are back there. Napier along with Mondu, shot Robinson and Gingras. Polish broke up that initial effort by the Canadians to get the power play going. Now Robinson, a feathery pass to Shutt. On the right side to Mondu. Mondu making an excellent move. Here's Mondu going in. He fired it. And Hartsburg got in front of it, and the stick went over the glass.
A lot of people wondered after the game in Minnesota on Thursday night when the last time was the Montreal Canadiens had been scored upon 5 times in one period in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Well, to be exact, as the researchers have found out, it was May 8, 1973, 5th game of the final series, Montreal-Chicago, and Chicago won at 8-7. There was a good move by Mondu, Gary.
Well, there's exactly what you want to do, is hit that blue line at top speed. And then if a defenseman is standing still, you saw the result. Paul Schmier was trying to stand up at that blue line. He had no chance when Mondu made that chip.
Canadians still on the power play. Here is Napier. Napier takes a look. Where will he pass it? He gets it back. Robinson winds up, fakes the shot. Gingras cleared a shot in there, a hard one. It was wide. Here's Napier to the side of the net to Mondu. Around the net, back it goes. Gingras centering it right in front. And Meloche is down. He covers up.
Well, the North Stars keeping the Canadians, Gary, from getting a good belt at the net as we look at Doug Reisbrow in uniform for the first time since his injury in mid-March, has not yet been on the ice.
Well, you notice the action in front of that net, and for a defenseman, the time to really move that guy out of there is when the defenseman is ready to shoot the puck. Then you have to let your goalie have a look at it and just a stick in the back or whatever it takes, but get him out of there. You know, if a defenseman has a lot of time, his best play is just to wait until somebody does get in front of the net and then shoot it. No sense shooting it before that.
1 minute and 1 second, the time left in the penalty to Maxwell. The Canadians going in this time. Polish will be able to clear it down the ice. There's young hands looking for another opportunity such as he had in the first period, but the Canadians come back. Tremblay going in. Tremblay bumping with Schmier. Left it for Lambert. Lambert couldn't pick it up. Good penalty killing here by the Minnesotans. Polish clearing it down. Claude Ruel making changes. His power play not functioning particularly well at this effort. Now 23 seconds left in the penalty. Engblom is coming in, trying to pass it right in front. And I think Meloche got a stick on it and cleared it away from Tremblay. It's knocked down in front of the net. It is Polish turning, and that'll bring about almost the end of the penalty. Just a half dozen seconds left. Here's Langway. Langway into the center ice area. He hits the Minnesota line. Fading in on the left side. The penalty has expired. Langway trying to center it. Into the corner. Jarvis bumping with Schmier. Back to the point. Gainey couldn't hold it in. Gainey is tied up on the boards by Smith. Here's Jarvis trying to sneak his way through, but he was bumped by Maxwell, and Big Smith sat on the ice. Face off in the center ice area. So it's a tie hockey game. 1-1. Canadians reaching for it at center. Jarvis rolled it ahead. Now it's Payne over on the other side. Maxwell clearing it. McAdam ahead to Smith. Payne is coming up. There's the shot! Partly saved by Heron with that right arm. Smith got in behind the defenseman partially. Now they jam in on the board. Langway is down and the play is stopped.
Gary, that was the first big test for Denny Heron since his embarrassment in the first period, and he was equal to it.
Well, he needed that. More than anything else, Denny Heron had to prove to himself that he was going to just forget about that giveaway and come up with a good save. And it was a difficult chance there by Bobby Smith because he was hooked from behind. And watch this. There's the save. You know, Heron doesn't come out and challenge like a Larocque or a Malashwell. He likes to stay close to that net. Slightly screened, and by golly, he showed a lot of quickness and knocking that puck to the corner.
So that could be a big confidence builder, as you have indicated, Gary, with that save. Down the ice it goes, and it's touched by Barrett, and that is icing against Montreal.
Danny mentioning the time the Canadiens had 5 goals against them in this building, second period. Chicago 8, Montreal 7. Wasn't that some game?
I'll never forget it. It was Dryden against Esposito.
Right.
One team would go up the ice to score, and the other team would come back.
Now there's Yvan Cournoyer, who was in that game. That was the year Cournoyer won the Conn Smythe Trophy, 1973. He went back, scored the cup-winning goal 2 nights later in Chicago.
I think, did he not get the winning goal on a Sunday afternoon when he tucked it into the corner of the net, almost past the net?
That's the final game against them.
Now Deeds. He can't get out. Zanussi passes it back, and it is called. This is the 6th, 7th game of a series here at the Montreal Forum. In the 5 previous one, I don't know whether you mentioned, Dick, I couldn't hear everything that you were saying when you were in between periods. In the 5 previous, Montreal had lost just 1. That was to Toronto in '64, 3-1. Puck is cleared into Minnesota territory. Smear decides to go the other way to shake off Mondu. Ahead it goes Zanussi. Out into the center ice area. Now Maxwell scored tied out of goal. They're beginning to check a little more closely right here. There's a lead pass down the ice. It goes. Gingras touching it. And that is icing against Minnesota.
Who scored the goals that night in that 3-1 game?
Did Keon get all 3 goals?
Got all 3, and don't ask me who scored for the Canadiens because I don't know.
You know, Danny, Dick, taking that one step further, you know how important it was for Meloche after a giveaway. It's the same situation with a defenseman and a forward. If he's having a bad night or causes a goal with a giveaway, it's very important that he makes a good play to try to gain his composure and his confidence. There's a regular here at the Forum, eh? Henri Richard. And I bet you can still motor.
Now it's McCarthy digging it out, coming out on the left side. McCarthy upended by Tremblay. It's rolled in. Heron leaving it for Tremblay to the other side. DuPont is now on the ice. Sharpley is bumped solidly in on the boards. Tremblay getting it out. There's a shot by DuPont. And an enormous save there again by Meloche. That was an excellent scoring opportunity. Now the puck is loose in front of the Minnesota net, and they clear it down the ice. So the goaltending, very, very sharp, even though they have not been tested that frequently here in the second period. Sharpley back into the center ice area. What a move there. Ahead to McCarthy. Back it goes to Sharpley. Sharpley taking a look. Puck goes off a leg. Engblom upended his man. Canadiens clearing it to center. Maxwell ahead to McAdam, and he fired a pass on the right side that went over the glass.
8 minutes and 29 seconds gone. Second period, the score. Minnesota 1, Montreal 1. Well, another look at that last save again by Gilles Meloche. No, not quite.
That was a check on Sharpley, I guess. Now Smear. Here is Smith turning at his own line. Maxwell gets it ahead to Payne. Up it goes to Smith going down with McAdam. McAdam trying to haul it in there. He did with his skate, but it rolled not too dangerously into Heron. There's Maxwell taking a shot. The North Stars are buzzing around. Along the boards, now Gainey bursts out with Jarvis. Jarvis to Chartrand. Chartrand missed it. Puck is along the boards. Jarvis and Gainey and Chartrand get in there in front of the Minnesota bench for it. And the play is stopped.
Mick Chartrand has had a couple of pretty good scoring chances, has grazed the post on a couple of occasions. Gary, the North Stars seem a little bit quicker than the Canadiens right now. I don't know, maybe not always, but times like that right there.
Well, I still think, Dick, it's using your whole bench. You know, so many times that throughout the year, if you give these guys the experience, come playoff time, they're ready. And the Canadiens, by continuing to go with 13 players, makes it very difficult.
10 minutes and 42 seconds. The time left. Second period. Down the ice it goes. Montreal called. It is icing.
Steve Shutt out there right now. He has played most of the year with LaRouche and Lafleur. Both of them are out right now as we look again at Craig Hartsburg. And that line, if you want to look at what the three of them didn't play together all the time, 147 goals. Tonight, Shutt with both LaRouche and Lafleur out of the Montreal lineup, playing alongside Mark Napier and Pierre Mondeau. Well, there's one way to cool off. Mario Tremblay at the Montreal bench.
15-12, the shots on goal. In this second period, we have not had that pulsating up and down fire wagon type of hockey that characterized for the most part the first period. It's a 1-1 tie. Napier to the other side, cleared it to center. Hartsburg is on it for Minnesota. A pass intercepted, and then it's lost. Here's Eaves over the line. Shot no difficulty for a Heron on that. It's knocked back to the point. Hartsburg cleared it in. Mondeau rolled it to the other side. A North Star is there. He's being tied up by Engblom. Now the Canadiens start out. Napier, a lead pass to Shutt, a drop pass to Mondeau. Going in, the rebound. And a remarkable effort by Meloche. He held his ground on that hard rising shot. Granted, it was from some distance out, yet it was rising. It was a tough one.
Steve Shutt showing the wear and tear on his sweater. You don't often see a sweater ripped like that. I thought there might be a new design for the Canadiens. Here's that shot by Mondeau.
Well, a good drop pass. Mondeau lets it fly, but Meloche, when's counted upon to make those big saves. You remember game 1 and 2. He was very instrumental in winning both of them himself, and right now they're getting the same type of goaltending, the North Stars.
And now we have moved into the second half of this period. 9:51 left. Second period. The teams tied at a goal. Up on the left side, McCarthy dropping it back. Big Robinson is there for Montreal. He's knocked in on the boards by McCarthy. The North Stars roll it down into Montreal territory. On the move is Anderson doing some forechecking, along with Sharpley and McCarthy. That forced the Canadiens to get rid of it before they wanted to. It's drifted back in, Robinson headmanning it. Again, the North Stars are on it. Difficult for Montreal to find an opening. There's a clever move by Schmier. He rolls it in on the left side, digging in after to Sharpley. Robinson mans the puck. It goes by Lambert. And with Maxwell touching it. Okay, the face-off. Right at Denny Harris. And the drama mounts as long as the score is tied or it's close in the game with a telltale decision. Depending on the outcome. There's a long flip pass. Langway tied up by McAdam. Payne trying to get it. And again, the face-off in Montreal territory with 8:47 left.
Well, a lot of teams like to do that, Danny, is that high alley-oop pass, so it just ends up in the corner and lays there. And when you got the wingers going at full speed, that's a good opportunity to gain control and not let the goaltender handle it.
What kind of a face-off man is Smith? We'll get into that later, Gary. Now they go in on the corner. If they get a whistle here, we can get into it. But now they jam in on the boards. Canadiens get it up. Hartsburg, ahead it goes. Here's McAdam. He finds it difficult to penetrate, and it's Gainey rolling it into the corner. Big, rugged, Chartrand, 27, goes after Barrett. They're serious about it down there, aren't they? They jam it in on the board.
All right, gentlemen, home ice in a seventh game. Advantage or disadvantage?
Has its pros and cons. Now, in this case, I'll let Gary get in here in a moment. I'm not going to take too much time. In this case, an inexperienced Minnesota team now weren't supposed to be in it. They're coming in, nothing to lose, more or less. So I think the pressure would be on Montreal, and therefore the home ice will not be the advantage. There's Chartrand with this man.
Well, in the last 25 years, Danny, there have been 21 times a series has gone 7, and the visitors have won 12. The home team 9.
So there's the lead pass. They failed to negotiate contact, and that's icing against Minnesota. Okay, Gary.
Well, I was just going to say, right now the play is very ragged, and the passes are certainly not on the sticks. But no, I always like the home team for the playoffs. You know, if you're playing bad at home, the fans tend to get on you, and there's certainly in this series the pressure's on the Canadiens. They're expected to win. The North Stars weren't.
Mondeau is bumping along with Maxwell, and the game slowing down perceptibly with these frequent whistles.
North Stars have lost the service of Quart Giles. He was shaken up in the first period. He is not on the bench right now, and I don't think he's on the ice. Seems that he tried it and then didn't come back.
Now here's shot over to Napier's shot, and it was blocked by Schmier. Napier had an excellent setup in the slot, but he couldn't get it by Schmier. Here's Napier making moves on the right side. Napier trying to center it. He goes after it again around the net. He centered it in front, and the North Stars down on the right wing at center and crisscrossing in over the line. Christoph, he leads the pass in there. Gingras, Demondu, ahead to Sharp with Napier. They hit the Minnesota line. Hartsburg is injured. He stopped that hard shot. Hartsburg is injured. Now here's McCarthy swinging it right in front. Réjean-Houle. Tremblay overskated it. Let's perhaps put some blame on Houle. It wasn't a good pass. He didn't hit him well. Now here's Tremblay on the right side with Lambert. Tremblay takes the shot. A big leg save there by Malott. Score tied at a goal. Here's Réjean-Houle getting in. He passed it. It went off. Barrett's flag out to Tremblay. He's tied up. Tremblay struggles trying to get it. And McCarthy on the other side for Anderson. Anderson is bumped by Langway. Cleared it ahead. Langway drifts the shot off to the corner. And Barrett is in there to pick it up. 6 minutes and 20 seconds of time remaining in the second period. Sharply over to Maxwell. Up on the boards at center. The North Stars. Here's McAdam. He lost it to Chartres. Now Mondeau with Gainey. Canadians cleared in there. Barrett taken in on the boards heavily by Chartres. And that's the second collision or rugged affair they've had in that area in this period.
Nobody hurt. They were rolling around, getting loose of each other. And here was the collision.
Chartres showing his muscle, getting in there and forechecking it. Well, the Minnesota North Stars are forced now to use Timmy Young back on defense. Hartsburg and Giles are both in the dressing room.
That's right.
Okay, Gary, Smith is out there. Tell us about his face-off capabilities.
Well, he's one of the best, but of course, Danny, he's going against one of the better face-off men in Dougie Jarvis.
They seem a little over-anxious and a bit fractious with the result that both of them, Jarvis and Smith, are waved out of there. We're going to have Gainey going in against Young. Canadians with the defense playing up. Chartres trying to get it. Schmier from in front of the net. And the North Stars dump it down on the left side. And McAdam showed a great burst of speed. He almost got through there. Here's Schmier clearing it on the boards. It bounces off Gainey's stick. McAdam falls against Jarvis. Now it is Young. Young's pass knocked down by Chartres. And Melange comes out. Gives it to McAdam. Pass at center. They're falling all over the place. It can't be from fatigue. Now it's McAdam. It's the close checking right here. Now McAdam had to get rid of it. No skating room, and there's an offside. 5:18 left in the second period.
Hartsburg is back. He is now onto the ice. It's an ankle injury, but he is skating around in a circle in front of the Minnesota bench. Now he goes back onto the bench. Quart Giles, the youngster out of Humboldt, Saskatchewan, he has also received an ankle injury. Does not appear as though he's going to be back in this game tonight.
Now it's clear down the ice. And with Maxwell touching it again, it's icing, and we need a goal to open up things. Mr. Dornhofer?
Well, both teams are being very cautious, but let's look at those two injuries to the North Stars. If Hartsburg is really hurting and Giles is out for the rest of the game. Anytime Timmy Young is back on defense, you know, the Canadians will certainly try to exploit that area, and because how much opportunity has Young had a chance of skating backwards and everything, so they got to take advantage of that.
It is Bird and Maxwell in over the Montreal line for this face-off. Eames got it, couldn't get a good shot away. There is Shutt. His high pass was knocked down. Engblom tried to set up Napier. It swung over to Eames. Eames leads his man in over the line. Zanussi. There's the shot to the short side. And it is Langway and Eaves looking at each other rather seriously, but they disentangle and they line up for the face-off to the right of Denny Herron.
Talk about the Canadians in a 7th game, Danny. The North Stars, prior to this year, were involved in a 7th game 3 times, won 2 and lost 1. Hartsburg is back out there, back of the net. Look at that last play. So Hartsburg is going to give it a try. I saw him talking with Glenn Sonmore, and he is back on defense alongside Paul Schmier.
Well, both teams will be down to 4 defensemen. The Canadians have done it more or less the whole series, Dick, going with the big 4. Now the North Stars find themselves in that position.
Canadians rushing out quickly. There's a pass to Tremblay. He winds up the shot 10 feet wide. Gould bounces to the boards. Can't come up with it. Here is Sharpley. A good pass over to McCarthy. McCarthy feeds it in, gets it again. Backhand shot. And a sprawling maneuver there by Denny Herron. Canadians with Lambert. Lambert hands it off to there's the shot. Lambert can pick up the rebound. 2 good scoring opportunities. There's the shot. One at either end. Canadians, Lambert in there. And he lost it to Schmier. Schmier having difficulty against Tremblay. They jostle along the boards. Sharply getting it to McCarthy. On the Minnesota rush, McCarthy made a great move going across of the blue line.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Paul Schmier better watch out. If his team is down threadbare in defensemen, he better not find himself parked in the penalty box for very long, or that will hurt them. I don't think the Canadians have used either Lapointe or Savard in this 2nd period. So they are, as Gary pointed out again, going with the 4 who carried the load through the majority of the first 6 games of this series.
Well, I agree with you there, Dick. The North Stars, especially on defense, can't afford to take any penalties of their defense. And there's a close call by Lambert and the scramble in front of the net. And here's where everything starts, right along the sideboards.
Well, they've lost Schmier for 2 minutes because he has now gone to the penalty box with Mario Tremblay. And there's how it began, right there, back of the net. Puck was frozen, and then they started pushing, shoving up against the boards. And that was the start of their little set, too.
You know what happens, too, Dick, is that when you're down to 4 defensemen, you play a little tentative. You can't go out after guys and really try to thump them in fear of, getting a penalty and putting your team in an awkward position.
You can reverse that picture, folks, from their actual position. Mario's not yelling at a fan down the way. He's yelling at Schmier. Schmier is ignoring him.
So they're playing 5 aside. McAdam to Maxwell, back to McAdam, ahead to Smith. Smith hitting the line, kicked it in over the line. Here's Smith. Took a shot one hand on the stick, and there'll be a penalty to Gingras. And even at that, Smith forced Herron to make a save.
Gingras' penalty in Minnesota the other night opened the floodgates. It was 1-1, and the North Stars scored. He got a penalty then for closing his hand on the puck, delay of game in Game 6. Now Gingras to the penalty box again, just 13 seconds after the penalties to Schmier and Tremblay.
Well, it certainly helps to have that good skating ability, balance, strength, and reach that Bobby Smith possesses. Look at that. He just keeps right on going and still gets the shot away with the one hand.
Gary, we used to say that about your game when we look at the
sure
replays on you.
No, I tell you who used to inveigle the opposition into many penalties is Pocket Richard. Difficult to stop. Marcel Pronovost used to be off practically every time that the pocket would come down the ice.
Well, what a situation here. The North Stars couldn't ask for a better opportunity of getting the power play goal with only 3 Canadians out there. They'll probably use that triangle situation, and it's up to the North Stars now to try to penetrate that area.
They have McAdam, Smith, Maxwell, and Hartsburg. Jarvis gets the draw. Langway failed rather dangerously in the first effort, and then Jarvis cleared it out. 17-14 the shots on goal. Montreal shorthanded 2 players. Minnesota 1. Now McAdam is in over the line. Here's McAdam around the net. McAdam getting it back. Hartsburg over the other side. Maxwell closing in for the shot. And he hit Langway with it. McAdam jammed in on the boards by Robinson. Here's Hartsburg right in front. He scores! Hartsburg! Minnesota leading 2-1.
Power play goal. Hartsburg off the bench, hobbling with the ankle injury. Gary, the North Stars have the lead.
Well, how about the play that Al McAdam made? You know, he's in the corner with Robinson. There it is. And with one hand, he makes the play to Hartsburg. But how Hartsburg got that wide open, you know, somebody had to pick him up.
Well, you know, the Canadians were moving over to that corner. They were mesmerized by the puck and the play in the corner with McAdam and Robinson. Good play by Hartsburg.
You notice the poise. He just waited and waited till Heron got on the ice. Here you see Heron going across, and finally he goes down on the ice and he just takes his time, waits till he's in that prone position, and then firing it in the open net.
Now they are playing 5-a-side. Gingras has come back on after that scoring play by Minnesota. They lead 2-1. Here's the announcement on the goal.
Al McAdam at 16 minutes and 46 seconds.
Sharpley over the line, swings it into McCarthy. He's watched closely. Here's Sharpley centering it, and it's cleared out over the line. Maxwell feeding it on this side to Barrett. 2 minutes and 33 seconds, the time remaining in this second period. In there goes Langway. Langway coming out on the left side. Down he comes, shoots it into Minnesota territory. Digging in there is Uhl. Uhl chasing it to the other side against Hartsburg to Lambert. Lambert got all tied up and he couldn't pass it back to Engblom. Long lead pass. Goes into Canadiens territory. The penalized players are getting set to come back on and lugging it back into the center ice area. Over the line is Kristoff. He's a hard man to knock off that puck. Number 28 is Barrett, shoots it. Kicked out by Heron. Now they're playing 6-a-side again. Ray-Jean Uhl dumping it in there. That was wide. Eves playing it behind the net. Barrett getting it to Kristoff. He hit his man, Zanussi. Zanussi getting away from Robinson. Robinson took him into the boards heavily. Here's Kane going in. He fired it wide. Kane again getting a chance. A shot. Let's see. Aaron comes up with a sparkling effort. I think he has it.
Right under his pads there, Dan, and boy, what a big one that was for the Canadians.
You know, Larry Robinson had come out with a new stick for Denny Aaron. I don't know if he ever got it to him. Aaron made that stick save before. I guess his stick was cracked. Here it is. Payne with the shot.
Well, you'll notice the rebound will come right back out in front and get another crack at it. Now here Robinson goes down and he's screening Heron, and look at the position that Heron is in and still makes the save.
Was that skill or luck?
A little of both. But by golly, he had good position.
.127. The time left in the second period as we look at Denny Heron. This is a face-off to his right. North Stars almost took a 2-goal lead on that effort. Now Gainey boosting up on the left side into Minnesota territory. Gainey is knocked to the ice by Maxwell. Gainey goes after Schmier. Gainey keeping it in there. Gainey on the left side, playing it in. Ray-Jean Uhl rammed into the boards by Maxwell. Here's Jarvis. Jarvis comes up with it. He tried to set up Gainey and the North Stars, roll it down on the left side. McAdam couldn't get by Gingras. Less than a minute to go in the second period, and the play is stopped with a face-off outside the Canadiens' line.
Danny, if memory serves me correctly, Bob Myers was the official in charge of Game 7 last year in the Montreal-Boston semifinal. Fans on him for that last play when Gainey was hauled down as he moved into the North Stars zone by Maxwell. There it is right there.
You know, that's one guy that you certainly have to interfere with, try to slow him down to give your defenseman a chance to get that puck. We all know that he can skate, and he's very aggressive in those corners, and he'll come up with it.
Langway. Pass. Engblom is stopped at the line. Dashing in is Sharpley. He's belted by Langway. They're beginning to lay the muscle on. Anderson knocked down the Napier pass. Couldn't get it to get a shot away. Here's Langway. Langway knifed it in there wide. Mondu darting in from the right side, and Barrett has it with 24 seconds left. To Sharpley. Now Shutt. Keeping it in. Canadians are on the move. They'd like to get a goal here to tie it up before the end of the period. But they'll have to work very hard. And they have to keep Minnesota from scoring. That is another consideration. Just 3 seconds, and that means this is going to be the end of the second period. And Minnesota North Stars 2, Montreal Canadiens 1.
Interesting matchup right off the start. Larry Robinson playing on the right side in the forward line. Serge Savard back in defense. So Claude Ruel is pulling out all the stops. Try to get a little more muscle in the forward line to dig up that puck.
Danny, that figure 101, that's exhibition, regular season?
All the hockey games they've
playoff.
played since,
Right.
let's say, about the 21st of September. Now it's Savard leading the attack for Montreal, and he misfired on that pass intended for Oul. Canadians go to the attack. Payne picking it up, handing it off to Smith. Over for McAdam, intercepted by Savard, and the Canadians roam in there, led by Gainey, Oul, and Robinson. And again, the Canadians almost lost possession. Luckily for them, it was Oul falling on it, and the face-off will be in the general vicinity of Minnesota territory, just outside the line.
It will be interesting to see if Savard can go through a third period, or if LaPointe plays as well.
Now, in over the line, McAdam trying to get the pass from Payne. Into the corner they go. Payne is shoving, and Minnesota succeeds in getting what they wanted, a whistle and a face-off in the Canadian zone.
Well, as reported in the second period, it's now confirmed Kurt Giles, the injury he suffered, an ankle injury, is going to keep him out of this game for the balance of the evening. So the North Stars lose a regular defenseman. There's Danny Jeffrion, who has played off and on for the Canadians this season, and tonight he is in civvies, as he spent most of the year.
Now Napier lugging it out for Montreal. Coming down, hitting the line. Stick check by Barrett. You notice at that time the North Stars had 4 men strewn across the line. Napier is belted over on the far side by Barrett. And they move in. The quarters are close, but no further development.
Well, that's been the secret of Minnesota the last couple of games, is stand up at that blue line, try to make the play, and it becomes so easy when the forwards have their man.
Well, the voice of Gary Dornhofer over the picture of Guy Lafleur. Surprised he's here. He says he's too nervous to watch Danny in person. Usually ends up taking it on the tube.
There was a headline in one of the French dailies today that he's ready to play against Buffalo if the Canadians get in against Buffalo, but when? Mondu rubbed in on the boards by Barrett. There's Napier trying to center it. In on the board, Steve Shutt. Shutt takes a look over on this side. Gingras shooting it. Waited too long on that slap shot. Now it comes to the lip of the crease. It's in front. And Kristoff failed to clear it out. Pressured by Montreal. There's the shot. And let's see, it is Barrett. Has it caught up in his equipment, and the play is stopped.
Barrett's played quite a hockey game tonight.
Canadians, everybody up for the face-off. Here's Dupont chasing it to the other side. Could not get it in front of the net, and Anderson into the corner to Schmier. Montreal, Tremblay digging doggedly on the boards. Minnesota coming up with it, a pass. Zanussi to Sharpley over the line. Anderson going in. McCarthy into the corner. That's Anderson there, not Zanussi. Now it's centered, gobbled up. Here's Lambert down on the right wing at center with Savard and Dupont. They shoot it into the corner. They overskated it. Now it's Tremblay stopping it. Tremblay gets it again. Here's Tremblay trying to center it. Maxwell took a run at Tremblay. Lambert is tied up by Schmier. Tremblay comes up with it. Here's Engblom centering it. It's blocked. Engblom around the net. They don't even stop. And the North Stars with McCarthy. They clear it into the center ice area. Canadians keep coming back. They fire it in there. Schmier playing it up to McAdam. North Stars would love to get a break on this all-out offensive effort by the Canadians. Canadians going all out offensively. Here's Gainey coming down. He fell at the line. Now Gingras couldn't hold it in. Gould playing it into the corner. Up on the right side. Here's Payne into the center ice area. Lead pass for Smith. He couldn't get it. Langway takes a check from Payne. They jam in on the boards. Let's see, will they get a whistle? Yes, they do.
3:12 gone here in the third period. The score, the Minnesota North Stars 2, the Montreal Canadiens 1.
It is Barrett and Hartsburg, the defenseman for Minnesota. They're at the Canadiens line. Montreal getting the draw, 2-1 Minnesota. Gainey could not corral that pass off the boards. Now Gainey turning along with Robinson. Robinson going down on the right side. Payne clearing it out to center. Gainey was knocked to the ice by Payne. Here is Gingras whipping a shot off the leg of Hartsburg. Robinson going in there. Now it goes to Ray Jean behind the net. Robinson couldn't get it. Langway is chasing it. Shot keeping it in. Shot winds up. There's the shot. He is 5 or 6 feet wide. Minnesota. Big Bobby Smith works in on the right side. Rolled it in front. There's Langway against Payne. They're in on the board. It's loose. Spear going in. It's off the stick back into the center ice area, and Smith cleared it in. It's called on the offside.
Been a lot of shots directed at the net in this third period, mainly by Montreal. There has not been a shot on goal in the third period. The goaltenders have not had to make a save. As we look at the Canadiens bench, Larry Robinson told me on the interview the other night, Gary, the game in Minnesota, he would just as soon be back playing defense as he would be up at the... You ever play defense? Did you ever move backwards, go the other way?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I wasn't very effective back there. After one game, they decided that you haven't got it back there, kid.
So as you indicate, Dick, the shooters are plagued with a deficiency in accuracy. Just 17 shots. There's one that's fairly accurate. It was right on, but it was from way out. So Montreal are now leading 18-17 in shots on goal. But the North Stars, where they pay off in the scoreboard. North Stars leading 2-1. The Canadiens backhanded in. Jonas going in along with Napier on the boards. Here goes the shot. He fired it. And it went to the side of the net. To the other side. Engblom in for shot. In behind the net. Napier trying to center it. He goes to the corner. It comes in front. And Kristoff takes a look. Cleared it up for Zanussi. Intercepted and fired back in by Engblom. Canadians making changes rather quickly, a wholesale change. Now Gingras over to Langway to Lambert. 3 of them in over the line. Here's Tremblay. Tremblay tried to pass it against Zanussi. In behind the net. Here's Tremblay getting it loose. Samuel waiting for they score! Langway!
This place is an absolute madhouse. It's a tie hockey game. Gary, the pressure you spoke of, the Canadiens finally cashed in.
Well, the North Stars are content to play in their own zone. They were backing up, allowing the Canadiens to come to them. Langway, there he is off the goalpost, all the way from his defensive position. And again, which area was he in? The slot area. Nobody picked him up. Now we'll see how the North Stars can adjust. You got to give the Canadiens credit. They went right after the North Stars. They outworked them. Nobody around, and Langway was right all alone and fired it home.
So it's a tie hockey game. There's the fellow who scored the goal, Langway. He shoots it down the ice. Hartsburg touches it, and it is racing against Montreal. Here's the announcement of the goal.
Avec l'aide du numéro 14, Mario Tremblay. Et du numéro 11, Yvon Lambert.
Now Rod Langway thinks he's a goal scorer now. Just telling everybody what it was like.
Canadiens goal scored by number 17, Rod Langway. Assisted by number 14, Mario Tremblay. And by number 11, Yvon
5:23
Lambert. 5
language
minutes
with
and
Tremblay
23
and
seconds.
Lambert. The North Stars, everybody up. Savard cleared it to the far side for Napier. Ahead to Anglon. 3 Montrealers at center. They shoot it in. In behind the net is Hartford. He scored a beautiful goal to put Minnesota ahead 2-1. So here in the third, it's tied. Now in goes Sharpley. He centered it. Canadiens. Shot coming out with Napier and Mondeau. 3 of them in over the line. Broken up and wheeling back for Minnesota is McCarthy. McCarthy cutting into the right side. And he lost it to Savard. Shoots it down the ice. Savard seeing fair amount of service here in the third period with his great experience. There's a pass to McAdam at the line. Ahead to Smith, over the line. Here's Smith cutting, he fired it! Juggled by Heron with Payne and McAdam going in there.
13:28 remaining in regulation time. The score, Minnesota 2, Montreal 2.
Minnesota leading 22-20 in shots on goal. Gingras cleared it back in, eaves up on the wing, it goes. A pass back. Here's Eaves cutting in, takes the shot. He just missed. But he had to hurry his shot. He was being checked. Kristoff trying to get out over the line. There's an offside against Minnesota with 11:46 the time remaining in this, the third period.
And Rod Langway has scored in this third period to make it a 2-2 hockey game. His third goal in the playoffs. He didn't get many more than that in the entire year during the regular season. 11:46, time becoming a factor. Look at Sonmore's tie. I don't see coaches with the tie loosened like that too often. Understandable.
Gingras ahead to Mondeau. He steps in on the left side. Chopped it toward the corner. And Sharpley hands it off to Maxwell to the other side. This team gets that puck out of their zone very, very well. Now it's Anderson over the line. McCarthy back to Anderson. He was checked. And it's cleared into the center ice area. Schmier shooting it in. Sharpley going in with Anderson to do the forechecking along with McCarthy. And the North Stars get a face-off deep in the Canadien zone.
Well, it's 11-12 away from the end of regulation time. When this series started, Glenn Sharpley was in the doghouse in Minnesota. I talked with him on Friday between games 2 and 3. He just had a row, I think, with general manager Lou Nanne. He left the practice here in Montreal. They had sort of ordered him home, as it were. He was not in good favor, but injuries came along. He had to play because Anderson got sick. That's what it was.
Yes,
in game 4. And he's played so well ever since.
Now it's back to Maxwell. Takes the shot. Kicked out by Heron. Now the Canadiens ahead for Lambert. He chases it to the right wing. Into Minnesota territory. Around the boards. Anderson failing to clear it out. Here's Sharpley. Now Dupont has it. Dupont for Lambert into Dupont. On the boards. They look for it. Schmier covers up. And the Canadiens are asking for a penalty for grabbing the puck.
Mario Tremblay has been involved more than any other Canadian player in verbal disputes with the North Stars in this series. He had another one right there, I think, with McCarthy.
Well, there's a good view of it, of Paul Schmier hauling in the puck and putting it on top of him. Actually, Glenn Sharpley coughed up that puck along the boards, and they're very fortunate that no further damage was done. You know, you can't always get the puck out cleanly. Every once in a while, you just drive it out of the boards or flip it up. That's always the best play, the old alley-oop, but just make sure it's out.
Now from the face-off, here's Gainey on the backhand, and he hit Bird. Robinson bouts Payne. Robinson goes down. North Stars, Bird clearing it to center. Oh, shooting it in, and that's an offside called against the Montreal Canadiens.
Larry Robinson trapped on the play. Well, Bobby Smith. They look cool. I can't get over it, how these guys can do this. Larry Robinson has been here before. And here's the reason he was trapped in the Minnesota zone right there when that puck finally came out. He and Payne coming together heavily.
Now it's Zool. He's leading Langway with that pass. Langway bumps Hartsburg. Zool is looking for the puck. Zool gets it. It comes in front. Now it's Zool again. And Payne clearing it to Smith. Smith pass to Payne. He's taken out of the play by Gainey. Robinson is turning. Big Robinson makes that move. Here's Robinson on the backhand. The rebound. Gainey couldn't get it. Here's Robinson trying to get possession. Robinson was upended by Hartsburg. That was fast and furious and frantic action in front of Malott. Now it's stopped at the line. There's a shot by Langway. It went off Robinson. Back to the line. Gingras clearing it in. Here's Robinson centering it to shot. His shot is by shot again, and he fired it. And he hit Meloche on the left leg of Meloche. Didn't know where it was coming from. Canadians along the board. Here's Oul. Oul playing it back in there. Big pressure by Montreal. Now the North Stars shoot it down the ice. Ice it. Montreal again with the defense of Engblom and this time Savard. On the left point, they are in over the line, out of your picture. Mondeau is poised. If Napier can get it back, Napier couldn't get it back. Now in behind the net. Here's Schmier, who had that beautiful goal in the 6th game on Thursday. Zanussi has it. Zanussi over the line. Caught. Heron is out of the net. And he holds on. Just 9:03 left in regulation time. We may have to pay you extra money tonight, Gary.
Well, it certainly has picked up the tempo, especially in this period with a score tie. And, you know, when you go into those face-off spots, everything becomes so important. Who gains control of the situation right away, and especially in the offensive zone. Now, Eves facing off there, and he wants so desperately to gain control and try to get it back to the point.
Christoph, Eves, and Zanussi, Maxwell, and Schmier laying in. There's the shot right on. And Heron had to be very alert on that and lead past the shot. Here's shot going in a goal. Takes the shot. Couldn't get a good shot. Schmier was impeding him, and Schmier, was it Schmier? He's going off. So it's a score tie 2-2. Montreal on the power play with Gainey, Mondeau, Napier, Gingras, and Robinson. Polish and young hands out there. They have been outstanding as penalty killers. Hartsburg on defense with Barrett. Here's Gingras. Gingras getting it over to Robinson. To Gingras. Gingras getting it in. There's the shot by Mondeau from a sharp angle. And covering that side magnificently was Meloche. And he had that great move and came up with it.
Well, what a great opportunity for Mondeau there to just hang on to that puck, and he could have walked in on alone. You see the congestion in front of the net. Canadian player had the defenseman tied up there. Mondeau could have walked in and did whatever he wanted. He elected to shoot right away. Meloche was equal to the task. You'll never get a bigger time in the game than we have right now, gentlemen.
On the face-off, Gainey is looking for it. Here's Robinson. Going into the corner, Robinson back to Napier, to Robinson. Robinson takes a look, getting set. Robinson still getting set. Will he shoot or pass back to Napier, to Robinson, to Napier. Napier to Gingras. Canadians doing a lot of passing, but not getting any shots on goal. Young hands would be content to get a whistle here. That's what happened.
Yeah, North Stars checked well. Canadians didn't see any daylight at all between whoever had the puck and goaltender Meloche. There you see the time left, 8 minutes and 11 seconds. Gary, a lot of heavy traffic in front of Meloche.
Well, Claude Ruel says, look, we got to get our guys in there. You think it's easy in there? Gainey. There with Hartsburg. Look at him going at it. But again, you have to get in front of Meloche, make him take his concentration away of following that puck and worry about the man in front of him.
Gainey doing exactly that, Gary. That was an excellent camera shot of just what you were talking about.
So now they got another guy that does it just as well in Lambert, and you'll see him doing the same thing.
Score is tied at 2. Minute and 19 seconds, the time remaining in the penalty. 8:10 left in regulation time. Now Barrett trying to cover up, poking away at it. Is Régin Oul, his stick is held. They jam into the corner, and they get a face-off this time to the right of Meloche. The Canadian supporters did not like the holding of the Régent stick by a Minnesotan.
Danny, they could yell as much as they want.
Yeah,
There's no way that would have been called.
I was going to say, can't have everything. 1:06 left in the penalty to Schmier. 7:58 remaining, regulation tie. 2-2 the score.
The infraction, I suppose, would be one of a very blatant nature to go off at this time, with the series hanging in the balance. And it's over the glass. And when you were in playoff games, I suppose, Gary, you savored very much the third period of a close game when you knew there'd be no penalties.
Well, it's amazing, Danny, how you take advantage, because you know it wouldn't be called unless it's a clear-cut breakaway. You get away with a lot.
Just a minute and a second left in the penalty. Back it goes to Gingras. There's the shot. It's blocked. Gingras gets it again. Lining up. They pass it. Régent trying to center it. Bouncing into the corner is Tremblay. He takes a look. Back it goes. There's the shot. Changed direction. Went high behind the net. Now Englund is going to keep it in over on this side. Régent going after it. And it's shot down the ice by Maxwell. And the Minnesota North Stars doing an excellent job of killing off this penalty to Schmier. Canadians can't get anywhere. They can't get by center. Now they'll try it again. A lead pass. Lambert missed it. Polish is on top of it. And he drills it back into Canadiens territory. Now 12 seconds left in the penalty. Schmier is getting ready to come back on. That pass was more like a shot. It goes across the ice and off Tremblay's stick in among the spectators.
Well, there you see it, and this is a very important item right here at the Forum, the time clock. 6:59 left, 7 seconds remaining on the penalty to Paul Schmier. And that last sequence was Gingras at the point.
There was a good example of blocking a shot, but I would rather see Timmy Young going at Gingras as fast as he can rather than coasting at him. Couple of things. Number one, you force Gingras to shoot the puck a lot sooner before he's ready. And number two, that if he does get it on the shin pad, he's in full motion. If it heads in the right direction, he's got a breakaway. And Coach Shiro, who is one of the best strategists, he always said, go as hard as you can at the guy, and once you reach him, why not give him a little bump besides?
Young spent quite a while walking that one off, Gary, up and down, back of the Minnesota bench.
So there you
not
see.
Supposed to block shots.
Right.
Isn't that what you always told me, Danny?
That's exactly it, Gary. That's why we used to always get you in the crease to mow down the goaltender. Now the penalty has expired. Robinson coming out. An excellent move by Robinson over the line. His shot high and wide. It's cleared back into Canadiens territory. There's Savard over on the other side to Langway to Robinson. A pass goes to Jarvis. He stumbles, shoots it in. Gainey from one side, Robinson from the other. The North Stars coming out on the right side. McAdam hits Smith. Here's Smith. He's faking 3 or 4 times to make Langway. McAdam carries on. McAdam trying to center it. Jammed out of the play by Gainey. Gainey wheeling away with Robinson at center. Over to Robinson. Taken out of the play. Gainey carries on. And the North Stars come up with it, and they roll it ahead to the line to McAdam. His back pass knocked down. Here's Napier. Rolling it in there. Here's Judd going in. Mondeau is getting in front. Judd can't center it. They're on the boards. Out to the line. Payne, he missed Smith with it. Smith rolled it into Canadiens territory. 5 minutes and 40 seconds, the time remaining in regulation time. Good move by Napier. Napier is getting set to shoot. Big, remarkable save by Meloche. What a play by Napier. Great maneuverability, great stick handling. And Meloche comes up with the save. Ease over to Christoph. Christoph banned on it. Here come the Canadiens. Dupont at center down to the Minnesota line. Dupont along with Lambert. Lambert centering it. Here's Englund getting set. A rising, a booming shot. Gingras keeping it into Dupont. Over it goes. Here's Tremblay. Tremblay centering it in front. Dupont backhand shot. And he fired it high and wide. Now Gingras shooting it. And it's blocked in front of the net. Glorious scoring opportunities. Feverish action. In on the boards they go. And they get a whistle. Tremblay knocking Eves down. 4:45 left. Langway shooting it. Here's Mondeau feeding it in. Shot. Going in against Hartsburg. Now behind the net, Canadians. Napier, who had that excellent scoring opportunity, couldn't come up with it that time. Langway takes a look. Now Napier, headman's that puck to Napier. He's hauled down by McCarthy. Play carries on. The Minnesotans are back at center. McCarthy over it goes to Sharpley, dropping it back, and it's intercepted. Mondeau, his pass in turn intercepted. Here's Sharpley going in with McCarthy. There's a shot, and Savard, the veteran, got in front of that and deflected it.
4:03 remaining. We'll count you down as best we can. And that time, Savard's experience came to the fore. Well, giveaway time for a while there.
Yeah, you be the judge. There's Napier with his speed going through.
The chance.
And that's the chance. That's right.
Oh.
Milosh, oh, perfect. Oh, the goaltender can stand so tall in situations like that.
Minnesota, they're in Canadiens territory, but Robinson gets it east side. Step Smith. Robinson leading the attack. Robinson over the line, dropping it back. Robinson was belted finally by Payne, but it's called on the offside.
Boy, did Robinson hit the deck hard that time. Good checking by Payne. Robinson hasn't rushed all that much in the series, and he told me the other night in the intermission that he was doing it for the reason he wanted to stay back, but look at that. Payne cuts underneath him.
Usually it's Robinson handing it out, but this time he ended up on the seat of his pants.
3:50, the time left. Here's Engblom trying to get in front. Taken out of the play by Schmier. Schmier against Engblom. Gainey after Maxwell. The North Stars can't get out. There's the shot, a weak one by Gingras. Now it's Schmier coming out over the line. Schmier down on the right side, shoots it in. And a wave of Minnesota players moving into Canadiens territory. They would like a whistle here, and that's what they get face-off in Montreal territory.
Oh, a lot of tired hockey players as they head to the bench right now. 3 minutes, 22 seconds left. And it's a tie game. Youngsters like Steve Payne, Bobby Smith have never been in this kind of a Stanley Cup situation before. Many of the Canadians have been there, and that's that even. Shots on goal. 26-24 overall for Minnesota. That means they've outshot Montreal 9-7 here in this third period.
Well, the shifts become shorter. Line changes every 30 seconds now, 40 seconds. They have to make sure that they're good changes. You don't want to get caught on a situation like that. And the face-offs. Oh, boy, how important do they become now, especially in your own zone.
And it is Jarvis out there against Eves. Back it goes. Bird takes a shot. Big save by Heron. I think he may have been partially screened on that, and he had Eves pounding in from the face-off circle.
Boy, Mike Eves did a great job winning it from one of the best, Doug Jarvis.
Yes,
right
he
there.
did. Now watch Barrett hesitate and let it go. Eves just couldn't get there in time because he was in the face-off spot, but the penetration was good.
Now it's off the boards. Here's Zanussi going in. Jarvis ran into him. Jarvis got the worst of it, but Jarvis did his job, took him out of the play. Here's Lambert digging on the left side, shooting it in there. Tremblay, whoa, he fell at Barrett. There's the shot by Langway, and it was wide. North Stars getting it to the line. Lambert is on it. Barrett in behind the net, being chased by Tremblay. Up on the wing it goes to center. Good play, but it's picked up. Here's Dupont coming in on that left side. The pass off the stick. The North Stars, 2-on-1. Zanussi coming down with Kristoff. Zanussi shoots, and it goes off Savard. Or is it like Savard was there? So the drama continues. You to unfold here at the Montreal Forum as we move into the last 2.5 minutes of regulation time. There's a shot right on. Kicked up. Heron got that shot from Maxwell, and the rebound was cleared just in time. Here's Gingras coming in on the left side with shot. Shot over the line. Rolled it in there sharply. Playing it back into the corner. Maxwell is being watched by Mondu up to the point. Englund snapping it back. Smear knocked it to center. After it on the right side is sharply. He's belted on the boards by Gingras. Now, less than 2 minutes to go in regulation time, and the Canadians clear it to center. Smear up ahead to McCarthy with Anderson and Bobby Smith. They're changing. The Minnesota team is on the fly. Now it's shut. He gets rid of it. It goes down to the Minnesota line. Barrett ahead to Payne. Payne in on the left side. Here's Smith. McAdam is getting right in front. They score! Minnesota with 1 minute and 26 seconds. Smith, the big guy from the corner, flipped it out there.
A perfectly timed play at the goal crease. I think he had one hand on the stick, Gary, when he put it in behind Denny Heron. And the Canadians, the defending champions, are 1 minute and 26 away from losing this one. Here it is.
Well, I watched McAdam skate all the way from the blue line. I mean, he just went as hard as he could go. And I don't know if he knocked it in or if it was Payne that deflected it.
Payne had the one-hander. Might get a better look at it here.
But they were both involved, and it was come right out in front. There's the deflection, and I don't know if McAdam was able to. But look at the North Stars bench. Everybody with their sticks in the air.
All right, close-up look here.
It was Al McAdam. Right. Let's give him marks. You should have seen him skate from the blue line. He never stopped skating, heading for the net, and he ended up with a tip-in.
Got off the check from Gingras. All right, here we go.
So Minnesota, 1 minute and 22 seconds away from eliminating the Canadians, but there will be great pressure on them in the final minute. They're in there trying to tie up Montreal in their own zone, and now it's down to 1-1-1, 1 minute and 11 seconds.
Well, we'll keep our eye on Denny Heron.
Dick, this scoring play, it's McAdam from Payne and Bobby Smith, 18-34.
The entire line in on the play. The tie slips down even further on Coach Glenn Sonmore. Claude Drouin has never lost a playoff series. Mind you, a long time between playoff years for him.
Now McAdam plays it into the corner. And as we mentioned the other night, McAdam is considered the outstanding player in the most valuable player category throughout the entire year for Minnesota. He's delivered big goals, Gary Dornhofer. He got the overtime goal against Toronto.
Well, he certainly has. And, you know, it's amazing how your key players seem to continue throughout the playoffs. And here it is with Bobby Smith and Al McAdam combining with Steve Payne and just able to get that stick in the crease area and nudge it home. But just look at Smith, Payne, McAdam. They've been big guns all year, and they continue to do so in the playoffs. And
so just 59 seconds left in regulation time. Minnesota with it. Robinson will try to get the Canadians down into Minnesota territory. Gives it to Gainey ahead on the left side. Heron is out of the net. Here's Napier clearing it in behind. Gainey missed it. It's down into the center ice area. Now here's Robinson. Over on the other side. Napier. It's in over the line. Robinson clearing it in, and the North Stars battling gamely here to hold on. They roll it into Canadians territory. There's fierce forechecking by Eves. Canadians get it to center. Smear takes a shot. Robinson deflected it away from the open net. Just 12 seconds remaining for Minnesota. They lead 3-2. It's cleared in there by Gainey. Gainey couldn't pick it up. Now it's loose in front. Here's Napier. Napier trying to get it. Gainey gets it. He passed it through the crease. The game is over. And the Minnesota North Stars have astounded the hockey world by defeating the Montreal Canadiens, who are going after this year their 5th consecutive Stanley Cup. A tremendous victory for Minnesota.
How about this young Cinderella team? Boy, who would have believed it, to win 3 games on form ice. Danny, that is incredible. Let's give them a lot of credit. They battled. The Canadiens battled.
The North Stars became the first team since 1964 to defeat the Canadiens in a 7th game on 4 ice. As shocking as the upset was, however, it began a trend that the storied Canadiens would rather forget. From Game 6 of this series through the 1983 playoffs, Montreal won just 2 of 13 postseason games and were upset in 4 straight series. In 1986, they'd recaptured glory by winning their 23rd Stanley Cup. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.